G'day, Jens. Hope you're well. I was doing a little bit of research today, and it came back, and this is fucked up. Right, somewhere between 40 and 70% of men experience erectile dysfunction, not being able to keep a hard, not being able to maintain a hard, not being able to get a hard, and it just doesn't work. And you know what's fucked up, right? Is that there's literally no help at all. I've had a mate who, for many, many years, he only just told me recently, this is part of the reason why I was researching it. And he told me, he's like, he just can't keep it up. And because of that, it's had heaps of different effects and impacts on his life. I mean, when you think about like erectile dysfunction, you know, you think of those like almost like the premature ejaculation ads. You think of it's almost comical, but it's like it really fucks up our lives when we can't have sex. We're men. Sex is a big part of our lives, and if we can't have sex, it has a heap of impacts on us. It impacts our relationships. I mean, I know a lot of guys who've had issues in this department, and their wives are just wives and partners are just not happy, and they almost get a little bit bitchy and a little bit catty about it. They get to the stage where they're complaining or they're asking, "Oh, do I not do it for you?" I've had a number of dudes when I was bodybuilding coaching who ended up experiencing erectile dysfunction, and they would say that their missus would think that they're cheating on them, right? "Oh, do I not do it for you? You fucking somebody else." And you start getting all these accusations, so it starts messing with your relationship. And at the same time, it starts playing with this head game where you know that your old fella's not working the way that he should, and so you start thinking about it before sex, and because you're thinking about that, you're not thinking about her or him, you're not thinking about having sex, which increases the anxiety, which increases the likelihood of you not being able to perform the way that you want to. And it just starts smashing your confidence. You're always second guessing yourself, you're doubting yourself, you don't feel like a man anymore. All these things start playing tricks on our heads. And here's the thing, right? You don't need to experience this. Now look, no shame, I'm going to admit I've had ED in the past, definitely. And it correlated exactly when my testosterone was the lowest and my anxiety was the highest, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through a couple of really simple, easy things that we can do to make sure that we're doing this really well, that we're maximizing our erectile function, right? That's what we want to do. We just want to have awesome hards. And not to brag, right? Not to brag, but I do crack a mean boner, right? And I want to show you guys how to do this as well, because there is nothing worse than having this soft, flaccid thing and fucking stuff in a sleeping bag when you're sleeping with a lady, right? There's nothing worse than that. We want to be able to fucking maintain a rock hard on all the time so that we can take them to Pound Town if that's what we need to do. And so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that. Now, just quickly, if you're watching this live, please be like Mick Liston, the champion himself. Comment live. If you're watching this as a replay, comment replay. This helps us target and create our content to suit you guys even better. All right? Now, first things first, what we need to look at is, well, what actually causes erectile dysfunction? Why do we go flaccid? Why do we go soft? So there's a couple of different enzymes which are involved in creating and maintaining erections. We're going to focus on one. One is called phosphodiesterase, all right? Whenever we take a Viagra, we are taking something called a phosphodiesterase inhibitor. And what this does is this increases the amount of blood flow which goes to our cock. So Valium, you know, we pop a Valium and then bang, you got a boner and it's sticking with you for 4 hours whether you like it or not, because it gets rid of an enzyme which takes the blood away from your dick. All right, that's all that all that your dick is. It's just a blood pump. Okay, and so whenever we have higher amounts of phosphodiesterase, we immediately will have a much tougher time of maintaining an erection. And there are several things which go into that. So there's a couple of dietary things that we can do immediately to fix this. The first thing we can do is we can eat more beetroot and we can have more nitrates. This will actually increase our blood flow down to our dick, right? The next thing is a lot of guys will say, well, if Valium fixes this and Valium beats this enzyme, which is, you know, killing our boners, why not just, sorry, not Valium, Viagra. If Viagra fixes this for us, why not just take a Viagra every day? Well, here's the thing, is a lot of guys say that when they start taking Viagra, they become more and more reliant on it. So the moment that you don't have a Viagra, instantly you can't get a hard on, right? Whether that's mental or whether that's physical, we don't really know. But a lot of guys will say that when they start taking it, they can't stop. And that's not something that I would necessarily want to be reliant on. Viagra, Cialis, anything like that. Fuck that. Because we should be able to maintain it well enough ourselves, right? So the first thing we can do is we can change the diet, we can just add in more beetroot and we can get more nitrates. That'll instantly increase our ability and our ease of getting a boner. But the next thing that a lot of people don't talk about, right, is testosterone, the role of it in being able to maintain a hard-on. Now, I've had very, very high levels of testosterone. I've had very low levels of testosterone. And it's funny because whenever my testosterone's peaking, I can maintain this fucker for hours if I need to, right? Literally, there's no putting it down. And so whenever you have high levels of testosterone, it is going to be far, far easier for you to maintain an erection. I don't know a single person who has elevated levels of testosterone that says they have a tough time of maintaining an erection. So if you do have a tough time maintaining an erection, if you do go soft or if you can't get hard, you need to start looking at your testosterone. And the third thing that I'd recommend you guys looking at, and this is so underrated, you know, it's criminal that nobody talks about this, right? It's absolutely criminal. The nervous system regulates your erections, right? The parasympathetic nerves regulate your ability to get an erection and regulate blood flow to your dick. And whenever you're more anxious, and I'm sure some of you guys have been anxious before or stressed out, often it's far, far harder to maintain a hard because you're thinking about all these other things. The brain is your biggest sexual organ that you have. Everyone, whenever we talk about the biggest sexual organs, we think about one organ, right? But the brain, and this brain, not that brain, this brain is the biggest sexual organ that you have. And whenever we get this brain to work with us and make it in a state which is conducive to maintaining a really solid hard, you'll be able to instantly. We've had guys who've told about how their sexual lives have totally changed once they've started looking at manipulating their brain, manipulating their nervous system so that they can maintain a hard for way, way longer. And it's really, really seriously easy. This is what we do in the hierarchy of health. Whenever you follow the hierarchy of health and whenever you're doing that, and you need to know the hierarchy of health, by the way, but whenever you're following the hierarchy of health and whenever you're doing this, you will instantly notice an increase in your sexual performance. And every single person who's done the hierarchy of health and is on our programs has followed that, then they'll tell you exactly the same, how much better they are in the sack and how much longer they can last. Now, if you don't know what the hierarchy of health is, or you haven't been shown how to increase your hards, if you haven't been shown how to increase your testosterone, if you haven't been shown how to make sure that your nervous system is conducive to you maintaining rock solid hard-ons, what I want you to do is I want you to comment hard on down below in the comment section, right? Comment hard on. And then what we'll do is we're going to send you across a stack of information, right? It's going to take about 15 minutes or so to look at, but we're going to send you across a stack of information which is going to do the following. Number one, it's going to increase your testosterone levels. Number two, it is going to make sure that your nervous system is totally optimal so that you'll be in the best possible position to maintain your erection really, really fucking well so that you can be rock hard and so that you can be pounding away for hours and hours and hours, okay? And that's what we want to do, right? Because I want you guys to feel like, man, I don't want you to be anxious when you're, I don't want you to be anxious when it comes to sex. I don't want you to be worried when it comes to sex. No one should be that. I've done that. It fucking sucks. There is no reason at all that you should ever be worrying about whether your dick is or isn't going to work. So if you want access to this, just comment hard on. We'll shoot you across all the information that you need. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. This is what we do. We help guys like you improve your lives every single day. I fucking love it. It's amazing. I get to work with guys like Mick, like Nashi, like all these incredible human beings. If you need any help, just reach out, comment hard on, and I'll make sure that you have absolutely everything that you need. On that note, guys, I'll leave you all to it. Have a wonderful night. Happy pumping. I'll speak to you soon.